All right, so we're going to do this video in response to Edwin Robertson. And yes, is it best to let someone to dispatch you under your own authority or lease own to a car hauling company? Um, so I think you are planning to do the one with the eight car hauler, if I'm not mistaken, the big boy carrier. Um, And if that is the case, it will be easy for you to be able to lease on with one of the bigger companies. I think I put in a response earlier for you, but to be able to lease on with one of those bigger companies, like Hanson and Atkinson, like Carvana, um, United Roadway, some of those bigger brokers and stuff like that, because they're looking for eight, nine car haulers all the time to be able to maximize how much they're moving in one token and try to be able to save money. So, you could easily get one. It could be, just as easy as for you, of course, to go under your own authority and to possibly hire you a dispatcher. Now, one thing you have to be careful about if you are under your own authority and hiring a dispatcher. Now, oftentimes you get these phone calls and these texts and so on and so on. Hey, we dispatch, we do this, we do that. You got to be careful hiring those companies. And the reason why I say is because if you're going to have a dispatcher, you kind of need to have a dedicated dispatcher, somebody that's focusing primarily on your company, in my opinion, because the way these dispatchers are working, they're getting these different companies to sign up with them, and they're getting paid no matter who they dispatch a load to. So, if you don't have a dedicated dispatcher, you might go somewhere and you might be asking the dispatcher, hey, has anything popped up? And they might be telling you, hey, we ain't seen nothing in that area or something. And the whole time they could have been focused on getting somebody else moving versus getting you moving. And hey, we'll focus on him in the morning or something of that nature. Time in this business, it can cost you money. And of course, it can cost you your time. You get somewhere late or you get delayed by 30 minutes. You could have dropped the vehicle off and kept moving. Whereas you get to the place now and they're closed. Now you got to sit there all night waiting till they open in the morning to drop a vehicle, and it delays you. So, if you're going to get a dispatcher, make sure you get one that's dedicated. Looking at hindsight, if I can go back, when I first started, I would have hired me a dispatcher, but I would have hired somebody in house that could be dedicated, directly towards me or whoever else that's in the company. Where you can hire them to monitor the load boards for you, because that's pretty much what you need. You need somebody that got eyes on that load board, because although you can do it, it's a headache to be driving, trying to load cars, unload cars, and to try to be focused and thinking, man, I got to find something to keep me moving. I got to find something to keep me moving. So if you could have somebody sitting at the house, sitting on their bed, twinkling their toes, whatever, looking at the load board, drinking coffee, eating a Twinkie, a Krispy Kreme, or whatever, and they can find your load and keep you going, then that's a lot easier. So in hindsight, if I could go back, I would have hired me a dispatcher that was in house to be able to do it. You think, many people would think that, hey, that's going to cost you a lot of money or unnecessary money. Yeah, it's going to cost you some money to do it. You hire somebody, depending on set your payment arrangement up where, either they can get paid through, what you call it, not contingency pay, but percentage pay based off the loads that they're dispatching to you and so on and so on. In that case, the money that you're making, if you're paying that person, and most of the dispatchers are charging you what, I guess old time you might would say somewhere between 5 to 10%, but most people are closer to that 10% mark. So you're looking at paying somebody maybe 10% of the loads that they find you. And if you look at it, if you made 5,000 in a week, which on the big boy you're probably gonna be making a lot more than that, but made 5,000 in a week just to keep the numbers simple, and you're paying them 10%, then they're making what, $500 off of the loads you made. And you'll find that having that peace of mind while you're out there on the road, you're driving, and you ain't got to worry about it, be looking at no low bore. Oh, that $500 is well worth it. So it kind of depends. Some people lease on with companies when they first get on, and most of those companies, depending on what you have, what your status is. I think you have CDL. They might pay you 30%. Some of them might pay you 25%. Not pay you. I'm sorry, that's company, but you'll be using your own equipment. So they might give you 75% of the load, or 70% of the load, or they might give you 65% of the load, depending on what they got going on. So in my opinion, I believe in cutting the middleman out and going for myself. So with me, I would start my own authority, and go from there. Um, and give me one second, kiddo walking in. So yeah, me, I will cut the middleman out and go with my own company, instead of necessarily leasing on. But that's me in particular. I have the mind for business. Some people don't have a business mindset. Because under your own business, you got a lot of paperwork you're gonna have to process. You got to keep up with. Payments, when you're going out, and you're dropping off these loads. You also got to turn around and make sure you're getting paid for these same loads that you're dropping off. So you got to keep up with what's been paid, what hasn't been paid. You got to keep up with your receipts, your fuel receipts. Keep up with your IFTA. And they got companies out there that can help you do it. But in my opinion, if it's something I can do for myself, I ain't gonna pay too many, be willing to pay too many people to do it. So it just depends on your preference and the way that you think about it, and kind of how you feel about going about your business and setting up your business. So I hope that answers your questions. I could have did a typed response to it, but I wanted to go a little bit in detail on it. So hope that helps you out, Edwin, and I'll holler at y'all on the next one.